Hey YouTube, what's going on? Dose in the house, glass to make them dance, ProviewsTV. It's the reviews from pros that know what's going on. Let's go! Hey YouTube, what's going on? Dose in the house, ProviewsTV. Today, we're gonna be talking about lenses. What's a prime? What's a zoom? What's a man to do? That's gonna be today's show. But before we start the show, I gotta give a shout out. Yes, we are in Studio D. We have Studio A, B, C. Today, we're in Studio D, Studio DeMarco. And as you can see, I'm rocking the shirt for the production company that I'm gonna be utilizing to make these amazing episodes, because I want that provision for you guys. We got Vinny, we got Sergio, we got Chrissy, we got Joey. It's just an entire squad. The quality that's gonna be given to you guys is gonna be the best because you guys are the best. I'm gonna let them come in. They're gonna give the little intros, blase, blase. Let's get to the show. So I know when I first started out, I started looking at B&H and I'm like, oh my God, I see this lens, I see that lens. What do these weird numbers mean in the front? What is a F number? What is a 50 millimeter to this? There's too many numbers on the front of these lenses. So how am I able to determine which lens is gonna be best for my situation? There are only two types of lenses in the world. We have the prime lens. Now prime lenses, they don't zoom in, they don't zoom out. So when you look on the front of it, 50 millimeter. This is a 50 millimeter 1.8. It doesn't zoom in and it doesn't zoom out. 50 millimeter, that's all it does. These are prime lenses. You see one number, it's a prime lens. Now this bad boy right here, this is a zoom lens. And why is that? Well, I'm gonna go ahead and look at the range. Next to the little mm, which means millimeter, by the way, it's 70 to 200. That means that this thing goes from 70 millimeters all the way to 200 millimeters. And that's all that does. This is a zoom lens, and this is a prime lens. So you may be asking yourself, well, what lens am I gonna use for what situation? Now, what's gonna make these lenses expensive and what's gonna make the determining factor for you all depends on what you're shooting and your environment. Let's take a look at this 51.8 lens, and let's actually talk about what that 1.8 means. 1.8 is the aperture. It's a little F number. And the way I want you to think about it is that the lower the number, the better the image your camera is gonna be able to take in. It's gonna be able to take in more light. And we're gonna have actual separate episodes for the f-stop, for the shutter, and the ISO. So I'm gonna leave that for the other episodes. The benefit of having a prime lens is that the F numbers are typically lower. You're gonna be low in the 1.8 range, 1.4, the 51.2. The lower the number, the more light that's gonna come into the camera. So let's take a look at this lens. This is the 70 to 200 millimeter 2.8. What does that mean? Well, it means my little F number is gonna be able to drop all the way down to 2.8. I get more light. But because it only says 2.8, that means if I'm at 70, let's decide I want to zoom all the way in to 200, it's going to allow me to drop down to 2.8. Now, let's say you got like a 60D, which is my baby, the 60D. It was my first camera. You know, that comes with an 18 to 135, 3.5 to 5.6. What does that mean? All that means is that I could only get the F number down to 3.5 if I'm all the way at 18. So I have to be shooting super wide to drop that number down. Now, if I zoom all the way in to 135, it's only gonna let me drop down to 5.6. So, you know, understand when you're using some of these lenses, this is what's gonna cause the price of the lenses to go up. Something like this, I'm not even gonna give you the price. You're gonna go to B&H yourself and you're gonna see, you're gonna be like, man, that's an expensive lens. But you don't need this lens if you know that you're gonna use a lot of light for that 18-135, if you're close up, because now you're gonna be at 5.6. Just get a lot of light into the camera and you're gonna have the best looking image. Again, these prime lenses, another thing about these prime lenses, especially the 50, because the 50 is like the nifty 50. You need this 50 inside of your arsenal. This is a 50 1.8. It's gonna drop all the way down to 1.8, and this one isn't that expensive. I think it's about $100 something. The 50 1.4, it doesn't sound like a lot, just 1.4, that goes for about $400. So every time you click that little thing, 0.8, 0.7, 0.6, 0.5, it's costing you a little bit of money. Now, the 50 1.2. I thought that there was no need to get that lens. But the awesome thing about the 50 1.2 is that lens is a L series lens. It's made with the most top quality glass that Canon offers. So when you go down to 1.2, you're looking at about $1,200, almost. That's a lot of money. But, you don't need that lens. I tell a lot of people that you're only going to get that lens if you see the quality, and now the quality of your lens is no longer giving you a desired result. I was good with the 51.4 until I started experimenting with these L series lenses. I own a 6D, so that 6D has it's a 24 to 105 f4. It doesn't drop down, it's at f4, but because it's an L series glass, it's able to compensate with the quality. I never saw that quality with my 50 1.4. So, that's it. That is the mystery behind these lenses here. So, my name is Dos, and this is ProviewsTV. It's the reviews from pros that know what's going on. Let's go!